Breakdowns.
Welcome back to the Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast. We are on episode 54. And then today we are not in my house. Today, this is not the podcast studio. Today, this is Ballista territory, you son of a bitch, okay? Today we have River and Zach from Ballista. How are y'all today?
Doing good. Tired, sore.
Yeah. That's perfectly understandable. Yeah. Y'all just came off playing a sold-out show with I Am at Andy's, which was absolutely insane.
That was a crazy show.
It was insane. Yeah, it was a crazy show. And I unfortunately I got there towards the end, but I did manage to catch y'all's set, and people were just losing their minds. I love that. I literally love that about every time I see y'all play. And then just the hardcore scene in general just wilds the fuck out. That's gotta feel fucking great just being up there and seeing that shit down there. Has that reception, have you seen it, has it been cool to see it to grow as the band has grown? Because Ballista's been around a minute now.
Yeah, we've been around for 6 years this year.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been crazy because just the other day I was watching some of our old live sets and there was 15 people in the crowd or whatever, and people kind of just standing around for the most part. And then now, like you said, the show last night was sold out. People were going nuts. I was watching the stories that people tagged us in this morning, and people were stage diving and everything, and that's what I always just want. I just want people jumping off the stage and doing wild ass shit during our sets.
Well, people jumping off, people jumping on to grab mics and just scream lyrics. I'm that's fucking nuts. It's a crazy feeling to know people are out there know these fucking songs and are actually jumping up and just fucking I'm gonna do this together. And it being even you guys being y'all being welcoming about that, to make it it's a whole community time. I don't know, hardcore shows that I've been to is one thing. I think before it's weird, but at a personal experience, I've always been intimidated by the hardcore scene for some reason or other, and I know so many people in it, so it's so stupid. But it's one of the most accepting crowds, and they're we're just here to have fucking fun and real passionate, fans and bands alike. So it's really cool. Especially with music and material, it's one of the things that energy just fucking is bouncing back and forth between the band and the audience. But yeah, it was because that was the third time I think I've seen you play this month.
Probably.
Yeah.
We've been busy this month. Yeah.
But it's cool because I think the first one, the first two were shows that NoiseROT tried to put together, and one was a Tuesday and one was a Thursday, and it's still plus 150, 60 people. It was nuts. But with playing shows like that more frequently, do you guys feel you have helped build part of this community, or kind of just came into the community and try to take your part in it?
I don't know, it's kind of hard to say because I feel the scene's kind of in a different place now than it was when we started out. There's a whole new crop of bands. I feel a lot of the bands that were around when we first started out aren't around anymore. But we're still around, so it kind of feels we might have helped build it a little bit in a way just from sticking around.
Yeah.
Through all that.
I mean, pre-pandemic, I wasn't in the band, so I kind of have a different perspective. But from what I've seen, kind of just feels all the bands that my old bands used to play Killers with, and Ballista, and the 1919
oh shit,
sort of that sort of crew, it's all one scene now.
It's a lot more meshed than it used to, because it kind of used to be a bunch of different smaller.
It was metalcore and hardcore, which is kind of stupid.
And now everyone's together. Everyone just wants to play, go to shows, and everyone plays together now. There's a lot more mixed bills, I guess, with metalcore bands and hardcore bands and stuff. Especially when they were doing shows at the metalcore house, those lineups were super metalcore with also us and death metal bands playing at the same all in the same fucking living room. It was awesome.
The mixed bill stuff is been something that I've been such a fan of, and I've loved how much it's taken over these past couple years, and it's just become the norm, which I'm fuck yeah, you should be able to go see a bunch of different fucking bands that all are fucking good. Like at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Like the bands, if they're good, like they're good. Like go enjoy something, and just like wanting to go out and find new stuff. And like I said, even like with some of the first like hardcore shows I was going to, I'm like, dude, all these bands are fucking great. Like that's really cool. And then like crowds come out for them, and I'm like, oh, dude, it's sick. It's such a great feeling like to see it happen. Especially like I love seeing with y'all the way like y'all like have been built like over the years. And more recently, I've finally like actually gotten more involved with like shows and stuff like, and going to more of them and seeing it like live in person, like it's fucking great. Like I was telling River, like I was like taking a shower today, and I was like looking, I'm like, I'm all bruised up. Someone like literally like flipped into me, but it was my like I'm an idiot because like I was recording, and I recorded something, and someone did a flip and landed over there, and I caught it, and I'm like, that looks cool. Let me look at it right now. And I'm like, if I got it, and I looked down, and I'm like, wait, that's stupid. Looked up, someone's back was already like, dude, man, to me. But I'm like, but again, like it's something I'm like, that's so fucking great. Like people were just energized, pumped.
Dude, I looked down for 1 fucking second yesterday. And I look up, and a fucking trash can during IM.
Oh shit, yeah, during IM.
Dude, that whoever fucking threw that trash. Can I cuss? My bad.
Yeah, okay. I've been fucking cussing since the beginning.
I have too.
Whoever threw that trash can is fucking strong. Dude, that was like a 50-pound trash can. It hurled through the air.
It was full.
Yeah. It landed right on my shoulder.
Oh shit. I saw that. The kids climbing like on the fucking top part of like
that was fucking bad.
That was Jacob did that and Chance did it.
Yeah. I was saying I have to go up there and like just like climbing. Like I think I just gotten there and I came out of the restroom and saw like someone climb. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah,
like,
that shit was awesome. I do not have the balls to do that because like I'm just worried I'll miss or like I'll smack my face.
Or you kick a bartender.
Yeah, kick a bartender.
Oh yeah,
like do something stupid. So I would never.
I kind of like that no one like that Andy's like didn't actually like
care,
say anything or care anything because I was worried.
Cool.
I'm like, oh, they're gonna like shut this shit down. But I'm like, they must know what they're coming into.
Well,
like,
it helps that like one of the managers. Zach has been in the hardcore scene, or was in the hardcore scene.
Yeah, for a long
while.
time. So yesterday was actually his last shift too.
So that's fucking right.
Maybe from now on it won't be like that, but I feel like yesterday it was cool.
Yeah, yesterday he was like, "Yeah, do whatever you want."
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's my last fucking day. I don't care. That was fucking cool. Yeah, I am so fucking sick last night. It was
always so awesome.
Crazy. That was my first time seeing like I am at all.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I've been seeing them for like 10 years now.
I was thinking back, and I was the other day I was looking through like old show flyers, and I saw a show that like my very first band played with them 10 years ago, and the fact that they're still fucking going at it is just like
the first band.
Awesome,
is that Steady the Mammoth?
No, it's I Wrote the Sky. Even before Steady.
Wow, because that's where I met you.
Yeah.
It's funny because we were talking about, you brought it up, the one Dayseeker show that we were supposed to play.
Dude, that was fucking interesting to say the least.
No, I was so like confused. Everyone was so confused. We all got there. The guy running sound, he's like, "There's no show today." I'm like, we're all here. Like, someone told us to be here.
Yeah, that's right. I can't even remember. Did we end up playing?
We ended up playing.
That's what I thought.
Just us. You know,
so I remember watching y'all.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it was. There's so many shows at Liquid Lounge like back in the day for some reason.
God,
that tiny little corner stage.
That shit
it worked out perfectly, but it was just like I don't remember if I saw y'all at that show or like a different show.
We used to play a bunch over there. Yeah. Because they used to do. I think like we did that. We did one where they did both stages like that in the Curtain Club.
Yeah.
Which is gone. R.I.P.
Rip.
Dude, that place was sick. Yeah. I just remember that one sound dude that worked there. He would always like if. He would always make you feel like shit, and the only card he would pull was like, I was on the road with Kiss. And I'm just like, that's cool. I love Kiss, but it's just like,
you're not making me sound like Kiss at Curtain Club. I
don't know what to tell you.
You don't have the stuff yet. But sound guys, y'all remember? I know y'all like played with James from Tomcats.
Yeah, dude was the best sound guy.
Fantastic.
Ever.
Yeah,
he was really cool. Like he didn't make me feel like shit about not knowing what I was doing because I did not at the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, because I was always like nervous. I'm like something would go wrong, and I'm like fuck. They're gonna think I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
James would be like, hey man, wait, what's going on? It's like, oh well, this isn't working. It's like, I got you. Like he would go find whatever you were missing. He like had it all the time. And James was one of the few people like would memorize your set and like start like fucking with stuff like that. Like would add like reverb in certain parts. Like when I was singing, like he would add like stuff like that or different parts. He would like, I'm like, how are you? Like we played once and you saw us once and you remembered. I'm like, that's so freaking nice. I wish I knew.
He used to ride so hard for my very first band, the Focus Hour. And he made us sound huge every show. Like made us sound like After the Burial or something. And it's just like we don't deserve to sound this good.
That's what,
the music's okay, but we don't deserve that kind of treatment.
Which was so cool because I feel like James would put the effort into no matter who was playing. We're gonna make you sound good. Like and I'm like that's what a sound guy like should try to do. Like do their best. And he was so cool. I mean, I hope you're doing well, James, wherever you are.
James, if you're watching, I love you.
Please come back.
Please come back.
Please come back.
Come back.
Start begging.
I miss you.
Yeah, Focus Hour was the first time that
that was fun.
Focus Hour was good. I don't know why. Somewhere in my phone, I was trying to find it. There is a slow motion clip that I got of the Focus Hour. It's just like one of those big old stomps and stuff. And I'm like, I want to find it. I couldn't find it for the day. God. But it's there somewhere. I'm gonna find it. I'll definitely send it your way.
Throwback.
With Ballista, there's a lot of like kind of powerful like songs in general. Just like the energy of the song, like of instrumentation and stuff like that, like comes through quite a bit, especially live. I feel like that's the best way to encapsulate that energy.
Hell yeah.
But subject matter wise, like you do cover a lot of like really like kind of hard and sensitive topics that kind of people like talk about, and that's kind of cool. I'll bring up two. Like we'll start, which I think are the ones like they get called out like some of the times like during the shows. Which one is I think Target Practice, which is like the one that starts off with like the J.K. Rowling like
J.K.
Rowling first of all.
Can I talk about the EP?
Yeah, it's all right.
All right, we're working on an EP right now. I think we just have to finish writing like one more song and then start recording it. But it's called Trans Day of Violence, and it's just gonna be a bunch of songs about being unapologetically trans and like killing transphobes is like the whole lyrical content of the EP. And that's the one song that we've started playing off of it, and so I figure I might as well call out transphobes, like big name transphobes before the set or before the song. And J.K. Rowling's the easiest one, especially since I got locked out of my Twitter account yesterday. I got locked out of my Twitter account for 12 hours because I was being mean to J.K. Rowling.
What exactly did you say on your tweet?
I said that I wish that I could be driving a car that careens into her at a crosswalk. I thought that maybe I worded it like, I thought I made I spaced out the words enough, and I thought using careen instead of hit might get me past the filters, but I guess some dorky millennial that's obsessed with Hogwarts still found my tweet and reported me. And I was like, all right, I'm coming back for you once I get unblocked. But they both
band account. I would have given you my approval.
I thought about it, but I was like, I don't want to risk the band account. I don't want the Ballista account to get suspended. So I was like, I'll let it rock. But then by the time I got unlocked up at my account, they had both blocked me on it. The two people that reported my tweet, so I couldn't even.
Oh, it lets you know who reported it?
Well, they posted,
that
about, the tweet you reported has been deemed harmful or whatever, and I was like, all right, I know who the fuck you are. But then as soon as I got unlocked, they had already blocked me, so I couldn't even retaliate.
Wow, man,
because I was about to go in on them too. One of them was like, transgenders always find a way to bully women. I'm like, I bully men too, bitch. Like, what do you mean?
You all can get it.
Yeah. I do not care what your gender is. If you're being transphobic, I'll fucking kill you. I don't know what to tell you.
That's literally what the EP.
That's what the EP is. That's the whole reason I wrote it.
Oh yeah, we capturing that energy right now. That's good. Because I think I also like one of the banter like things for that song was. I think you were like, oh, like who knows what like house they're in? And then people want to answer it so bad.
I called out Eric from NoiseROT because I had thought about doing that like before the set, and I was like, I don't know if I'll do it, and then I was just feeling it on stage. And so I was like, who should I ask? And I was just looking around, and I just happened to make eye contact with Eric, and I was like, hey, Eric, what's your Hogwarts house? I was like, do you know what it is? He's like, yeah. I was like, what is it? He said, Ravenclaw. I was like, that's crazy. You're transphobic.
That shit made me laugh so much.
Eric's not transphobic. No, for the record,
Eric is
a sweetheart.
Pleasant, decent man.
But I just thought that was so funny.
That's so great. Like, because literally, like, I feel like people were just, like, excited to be like, oh, like, I know, I want to participate in this shit.
Me,
completely fucking shit on the people that enjoy our music.
It's as a joke. All right, they're part of the show now. They'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's an interesting topic. Being like a trans woman in the scene, and then kind of going through the transitioning process. You started in Ballista, like while you're in that. So how did that go?
I started about a year after Ballista started, because our first show was April 2017, and then I realized I was trans and started transitioning in, I think it was May of 2018. And it was really cool because, like, at first I don't think I was, like, nervous because, like, everyone that, like, I'm friends with is, like, super accepting of trans people and everything. But I was just like, maybe I'm different. I don't know. I was a little bit worried about it at first. And so, like, at first I was planning on, like, kind of doing, like, a slow rollout of, like, my transition. But then the night that I first got my meds prescribed to me, I got really drunk and I tweeted. I was like, by the way, I'm trans now. If you don't like it, fuck you. Or something like that. Yeah. And so I was like, well, I guess I'm all in now. And then just immediately everyone started using, like, the correct pronouns and, like, using my new name and everything. Yeah. And so I was just super accepting as, like that. That's one of the cool things about the Dallas scene, is that it's just, like, super accepting of, like, queer and trans folk and, like, all people of different minorities. Like, it's such a diverse scene in general.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen that, like, over the years from, like, when I started, like, being in the scene and just, like, it progressing, like, and going to shows and looking, I'm like, dude, this is so fucking dope that everybody, you just be who the fuck you are. And, and it's chill. Like, no one gives a fuck. No one's, like, paying attention to, like, it's like, what do you want? Like, you know, what do you feel like you want? And we'll respect it. Everyone's, like, super hella respectful. And it's like, it's such wild when, like, on, like, social media or the fucking news or everything like that, it seems like sometimes, like, it feels, at least in this area, and maybe, like I said, that maybe it's a box that, like, I'm in at the moment where I'm like, like, everything around here is super accepting. And sometimes I kind of get where I'm like, I think that that's, like, everywhere, and I know that it's not, you know what I mean? Because, like, you drive it just a little bit out of, like, here, you know what I mean? And and it gets rough.
And it's cool because, like, the Dallas, like, Fort Worth scene is, like, it's not just a whole bunch of, like, cis white men, and, like, not necessarily not to like shit on cis white men or anything, but, like, some other scenes, like, even though they might be they're all, like, mentally, like, as accepting and everything, but their scene is still, like, predominantly that. I've noticed, like, through tours and stuff. Yeah. And it's just cool that, like even though those people, like, them individually aren't making it that way, it's still cool to see in Dallas that it's not that way, I guess, if that makes sense.
Like, having bands like Soledad, you know, all Hispanic people in the band, you know, I feel like there's something, like, really powerful about seeing that because there's not many bands like that and there's not many scenes. Like, if we're honest, you know, you might go somewhere and there might be only 5 Hispanic people in that entire scene. And the fact that we have a whole band, you know, with people of color in it is like that. I don't know. I think that's pretty powerful at the end of the day.
Even Ballista, we started out and I was the only minority in the band, and then now Jonathan's the only white person in the band.
Shout out Jonathan.
Yeah, shout out to Jonathan. He's making tons of progress with recovering from his. He
was out last night.
He came out last night.
So fucking cool.
And, like, we were over there to write right before we came here, and because, like, when we first went to see him, when he first went to the hospital, he couldn't, like, move at all. But, like, today he was, like, walking around his house, like, slowly and, like, having the brace on stuff. But he was walking around and stuff. It was really cool.
Yeah, that I remember hearing about that when it, like, I guess they kind of made it public, and I'm just like, holy shit, dude. So it's, like, really scary. But, like, seeing him last night, I'm like, oh, it's going in a positive way.
Yeah.
I was really pumped. Like,
and I was worried because, like, I didn't know what, like, the recovery window was like. So, like, I didn't know how long he was going to be like he was that first time we went to see him. Yeah. And then the first time I went over to visit him at his house after he got out of the hospital, I was still expecting him to be, like, barely mobile. But like, I walked in, he, like, pushed himself up. He was moving all his, like, limbs. I was taken by surprise. I was not expecting it. So it's just really cool to see him making leaps and bounds in the way of progress with that.
Absolutely, man. Hopefully, it's not long before we see him back on stage. Right?
Yeah, hopefully soon.
Yeah. Sooner than later. Yeah, sooner than we all thought.
We keep telling him, like, if you just want to focus on, like, your arms, we'll wheel you up on stage. You can play again. Like, as soon as you're able to play guitar, we'll put you up there.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Because I just miss having him on stage with us.
Me too. See. Right now, you guys, I don't know his name, but he's plays in Deep Incision, right? Who's filling in?
Nate.
Yeah, he's cool. Like, which brings me to touring. So you also just got back from the run that y'all did. How was that?
It was awesome.
It was really good.
Yeah.
You know, we had never, or at least I think maybe y'all did whenever I wasn't in the band, but since I've been in the band, we've never had like a headlining run, so to say. You know what I mean? So
I guess we technically did.
The Virtue tour y'all did.
And the OTM one.
Yeah.
But like those were, I don't know, those were like years ago, so like I guess we didn't have the pull that we used to have. Or we have more pull now than we used to have. Yeah. And like Karam and Deep Incision are both also making waves, so they had good pull too. And so I think this was our most successful like headlining run that we've done.
All the shows were freaking packed.
Yeah.
Like, really good.
I was seeing clips of like stuff just being uploaded, and I'm like, like everywhere they're going, like it's like crazy. Like,
it was weird to see people like outside of Dallas knowing our words, like
like
especially like because I remember in El Paso, like I had a lot of like mic grabs, and people kept biting the shit out of my thumb.
What?
My thumb was swollen the next morning because I kept giving mic grabs to people and they kept biting the shit out of me. Even Davin from Karama, yeah. I was just like, boom. I was like, what the fuck? Why does this keep happening to me?
Yeah, I remember to wrap the thumb back.
Yeah. Like I woke up in the morning, my thumb was swollen because it was bruised.
Oh my gosh.
It was bruised.
Probably should have taken you to urgent care to get like a shot.
Well, I checked to make sure I didn't have like any broken skin.
That skin wasn't. Yeah.
They just crushed it.
But nah, there's like a dude in El Paso that like took the mic from her during Law of the Jungle.
Yeah.
And like Law of the Jungle, like some of the cadences on that song
are kind of weird. Yeah.
He did that shit perfectly, dude. It was nuts.
I was stoked. I looked at you and I was like, alright, cool.
Nah, he did it, dude.
Yeah.
And then in Albuquerque, like there were like 10 kids piled up for Ballista
Slither.
territory.
And Slither too. They loved like, Slither. They went on.
People we've never seen in our lives, and it's just like, damn, like that shit's crazy. Like I've never experienced anything like
people
that.
People states away, like knowing the lyrics to like my songs, like it's crazy.
To LP songs too, which is cool because normally it's just like
a lot of people get stoked for like the older songs, like Slither and stuff like Cleanse, stuff like that. But like for like the LP songs, like you said, like it's cool that people are appreciating it because we put a lot of work into that.
Yeah,
and the most recent one.
Ballista Territory.
That shit's definitely fucking a banger. Like and it's like I love seeing like just Ballista Territory get performed because it's loud. Like I was recording, like I was just like for fun and stuff, and I'm like I need to get this, and it was just so I had my earplugs in and still like it was loud as fuck. Everybody's screaming like this
people love that part. Like and it makes me so happy because I was just like I just want like a part because I remember. Because I've always listened to like all types of heavy music because I just kind of thought it was all metal when I was like younger, and so even though I wasn't like in the hardcore scene at first, I always listened to hardcore. So I first started kind of getting into like the hardcore community from watching Hate 5-6 videos.
Yeah,
and I remember there was one of Incendiary at This Is Hardcore. I want to say it was like 2013 or maybe 2014, and they had just had a huge pile up for what can I not remember the name of that fucking song.
You know Incendiary more than I
know.
do.
I'm wearing the fucking windbreaker. Primitive Rage. The fucking pile up for that song. I was just like, man, I want that to happen to me one day. Yeah. So I told them I wanted to have like a part that was just a pile up part. If people liked it, I just hoped people liked it. And people love it, and I feel like I get pile-ups now, and I'm like, this feels so good.
Yeah, that like it's insane. Like that the pile-up at the front is just like crazy because everybody fighting to get like close enough to the mic to hear like the yell out, and it's still just like even like without the like people everywhere were just like yelling that shit. I'm like, dude, it's not even the mic. I'm just hearing people like yell. That's how fucking like people are yelling. Yeah, that part is really fucking sick. But speaking of like your Hate 5-6, I mean, y'all have your own like Hate 5-6.
Yeah,
like,
that was the crazy. I remember the first time we got on Hate 5-6 at Promcore in 2019, and I thought that was like crazy, like in itself. And then when I found out that he was gonna be at LDB when we played last year, I was like, oh hell yeah, we're gonna have a second one. And we were setting up on stage, and Sonny walked up to me. He was like, oh, good to see you again. I can't wait to catch the set again. I was like, you remember? I was like, I thought we were just some band that you just happened to catch at a fest one time. But he was like excited to watch us again, which was cool because I never thought that I would ever be on Hate 5-6 in the first place, let alone twice.
I was so damn nervous because like for it to come out because. On stage, there were no monitors.
Yeah, you couldn't hear shit on stage.
I couldn't hear Edward. I couldn't hear Robert.
Oh my God.
I didn't hear you.
I could only hear Robert.
I could hear Robert's drums, and that was it. So I was like, whoa. Because Edward hadn't even been in the band for that long. Edward had only been like less than 10 shows with us, I'm pretty sure.
I think so, yeah.
So, we're still like meshing as a group. So I was kind of just like, damn, like... I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out how it went.
In 6 months, we sounded okay.
Yeah.
But luckily, turned out pretty good.
I go back and watch that set like all the time. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just rewatched it recently. I'm like, this is so fucking cool. And then like LDB, which like Ed was actually the one that was like kind of like telling me like a lot more about it. But that fucking like. To get that like video at that like it's just like
at that fest,
that fest is just like it's a fucking perfect combo and a fucking great set. It's just like everybody going nuts there too, like jumping on stage. But it's definitely like a new fest to me. But I'm like, this is fucking great. This is what it's about. Like all these like people just like fucking trying to be crazy and having a great time. You know what I mean? Like everybody looked.
Oh
like,
yeah. It was a blast. That was such a fun weekend.
That was like. One of the best weekends of my life. That shit was everything a fucking hardcore fest should have been.
Yeah.
And like shouts out to Ryan from Gates to Hell. That shit he ran that shit like the Navy, dude.
What do you mean?
He was like so on top of everything.
So on time, like everyone there knew what they were doing. Like there was like
didn't day 2 end early? Wasn't it over by like
day 1 ended early? I'm pretty sure one of the days ended early, which is like
super early
for like a show that had like 15 bands per day or something like that.
And like a
early,
big fest too,
dude. Yeah, it was
keeping
it was a really good experience.
It was impressive.
Nuts. Yeah, that's impressive as hell.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Fuck yeah. Well, that's glad. I'm glad like y'all are getting like these just like opportunities and being able to do this and like having those moments where you like seeing people play like know your music like outside from your like where you're from. Getting people who remember you or you're like it's kind of weird. I feel like you're always gonna be it's always a good thing to be that humble, I guess, to be like, oh, like someone like, oh, you remember me kind of thing. It's like, hell you're just working, you know. It just lets you be able to put stuff out and make it still be like fun. It's weird like that. I bring that up a lot, but there's because it took me a while to learn. I'm like, yeah, this should be fun. Like I should be enjoying what I'm doing.
And like that's my thing is like, because I know like a band is a business or whatever, but like I never want it to feel like, I always say that it's like my second job or whatever, but I don't want it to feel like a job. Like I always just want to make sure everyone in the band and everyone like involved with the band in any type of way, whether it's just like watching us or anything, I want it to just be like fun. I don't want it to feel like we're just like, we feel like we're important for some reason. Because like I'm just doing music for fun to say the things that I want to say. Yeah. And I want like the instrumentalists in the band to write the music they want to write. Because that's been since day one like the one thing I really pushed on Jonathan. Because me and him started it together like before we ever got a full lineup. Yeah. And I was just like, just write whatever riffs you want, because we all in the band listen to so many different kinds of like heavy music that I'm just like, I don't want to be in a box. Just write stuff that's fun, write stuff that you want to play, because we're all gonna like it. And I'll just write whatever I want to write. Let's have a good time with it. And I feel like I want that to come through in the music we write too, is that we're just here for a good time.
We're just having fun, dude. At the end of the day, like, it's just,
I'm here for a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
that's what this music shit's all about.
It's never fun, like, because, you know, I'm sure we've all been in bands like this, bands with people that like that are just there to make it. You know what I mean? Not necessarily have fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want to get signed now. I want to do all these big tours now.
Yeah.
I want to play every big show like right now. They don't want to put in the work for it, but like they also that's what their focus is, not actually having fun with being in a band.
I feel like when you start like having fun with it, that's whenever like things really start to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the biggest thing out of all like music, and people can feel it, people can like sniff the shit out, is like if you are being if you're being fake, if you're like being like, if it's not genuine, like people will know, and it comes out in the music no matter like if you want to or not. Like people will know. It's like, yeah, they're not feeling this shit. Especially like that's what one thing I do like again about like y'all sets and then like, you know, hardcore in general, like is that energy like has never lacked at any one show that I've ever seen. Like if you're playing like your fucking ass off, and then you see like sometimes like bands like go up and like, oh, there's only 5 people here, I'm gonna half-ass this or something like that, and that's like the worst, because like those 5 people are sticking around and they're like trying to see you. You know what I mean? And
they could end up being like lifetime like diehard fans if you still put on a good show for them.
That's one thing. Word of mouth is way the fuck more powerful than anything you do online or your music. Like if someone fucking likes you, the next time they're like, hey, come to the show with me, like to their friends. So they'll get like 1 or 2 people, and then you'll get more people, and then like for me, like when I go to shows and I see a band that I like, and I know like, oh, like I know like my friend's taste in music, like they're gonna love this. Yeah. So I start sending shit like, you'll like this, exactly. And like stuff like that. But like one person can do a lot more than you, like than however many fucking like followers and shit like that who are just or whatever. Yeah. Word of mouth is something I've noticed that it just does so fucking well, and it's a way more like genuine feeling. It's a nice feeling to like even like have people come up to you, and again, like that's how you build those people that are out there like screaming your fucking like songs like out to you, and like grabbing the mic and stuff. Like those are those people that have like seen it, been through it, and felt like valued. But I feel like that's really important, like to be as authentic as you can be, and make sure that you're still having fun with it, which is why I think earlier when I was younger, like if a band was like changing like what they were doing or stuff like that, I'm like, I don't like that. But now I'm like, having been in a band, having like talked to a bunch of people, it's like, of course you're gonna fucking want to change. Like, you're gonna get bored.
Who wants to play the same stuff over and over again?
Like going back to like what you were saying, like when we did that East Coast tour in the summer, I remember in Amityville we played like kind of like an emo show. Yeah, that's what Amityville is really known for, is their emo scene.
Yeah, it was like more like emo, like kind of bordering on pop punk type of emo.
Yeah, so we launched into Ballista territory, right? And you can see the emo fans just leave, but there was one dude, and I'll never forget this. There was one dude wearing an Entombed shirt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like, when we wrote the record, we were heavy into Entombed, and I was like, all right, this is like the only dude feeling it. I'm playing to this one dude.
Yeah. But yeah, like that again, like that one dude like is literally gonna be either like he's like, oh, this is like my shit, and then like, I'm sure like he's got like friends, like, or they got friends that like, you know, they're not here, but they're gonna like this shit, so like I'm gonna like show them like whatever next time y'all come by. Oh, okay, like they're coming out with like their friends and stuff, like, so that's enough. And again, like I'm always like, there's certain like, there's a level of like, you can not like shit, and that's fine. Like you don't have to like everything. Yeah. It's like, but you also like can't shit on like really like good music and like people like that do like well.
Yeah, even if it's not my thing, I can admit that it's good.
Yeah, that's like the difference thing. Like where I feel like a lot of people don't make that distinction. It's like, no, if I don't like it, it sucks. And
exactly.
Like, I'm like, okay, if you think like it's not good, it's fine.
Stone Sour.
Man.
Yeah, I don't like Stone Sour.
Every time I want to play Stone Sour, like on the road, he's like, no. I'm like,
no Stone Sour? That's a no.
I can't do it. I hated, dude. This is like breaking news, but I hated Deftones for the longest time.
I had to put him on.
We were on the Madball run.
Yeah.
And Andy from Soledad is driving us around. And I think I took a nap and I wake up and he's playing something. And I'm like, this is really fucking good. Who is this? And he's like,
got you.
He was like, Deftones. and I was like, oh, fuck. I guess I like this band now. After 10 years of being a hater.
Yeah, because didn't I send you like a list of songs that I thought you would like?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, listen to these ones.
Nah, and then on the last run, like the one that we literally just got back from, I think I took a nap also, and I wake up and Ging is playing Beauty School by Deftones, and that's like all I listened to like on my headphones the rest of the time. Like
that's how they introduce new music to you. It's
Yeah,
just like wait till you're napping.
Just wait till I'm taking a nap.
Subliminally put it into
Hold
your
the phone up to your ear. He's gonna love this one.
Yeah, but it kind of, and I've had that happen where I'm like, no, I don't like this at all, and then I shut off from it for a while. Oh, you can go grab your go for it. I need to move that to the middle. But yeah, where I'm like, I don't like this, you know, it's not going well, or it's not good. And then I shut myself off, and then like I go back and start re-listening, and I've had moments where like it constantly like, what's this? And then like it gets pointed out, I'm like, oh shit, like
damn,
okay,
I've been a hater for so long. Yeah.
Which is why I'm like, okay, I gotta stop hating on shit, you know what I mean? Just like give it its time, or you know, give the opportunity. Also, like again, like you music is the most subjective thing in the fucking world.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't like something, it's like, yeah, it's cool. You don't have to like everything. Like there's so much fucking music. So.
Yeah, dude, I was that way ironically because I know we were talking about them earlier with Dayseeker.
Yeah.
It took us like playing with them twice for me to be like, oh, this is pretty fucking good.
I get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot. I can't remember what the most recent band like that has been, but I've come around to like a lot of stuff and giving stuff like a new ear, like just all right, listen to it without trying to bitch, or by yourself, just like, you know, without anybody being there that I have to like whatever. Like if I said I hated him once, I'm like, I gotta keep saying that, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, like going back, like having like the term before was like, oh, guilty pleasure songs. Like fuck that.
Yeah.
Like I fucking like what I like.
I don't have any guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm trying. No,
I listen to mostly like J-pop, like idol groups.
Yeah.
so I don't have guilty pleasure, and I'll be like so forward about that on Twitter and stuff too. People talk shit about shit. I'm like, no, it's badass. You're just stupid.
Yeah, I don't know why. But I used to feel guilty about like still for some reason like still fucking with like bands like Attack Attack.
Yeah.
Or even like Hinder.
I listened to the first two Attack Attack albums doing dishes the other day, and I was like, this holds up. Chloe was just like in the bedroom, and I was just like, I was out doing dishes, singing Smokeahonis. I was singing the shit out of Fumbles O'Brien.
Oh my god! But dude, yeah, like. But like I don't know if it's just growing up, but I feel like the older you get, you just don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
I forgot what I read one time. It's like, yeah, just the older you get, like the less fucks you give about like what you like. It's just too much effort to keep up some image for someone who doesn't give a fuck about like what you like listen to, or like someone you don't give a fuck about. You know what I mean? Like someone's like shitting on your stuff. Like I brought up the story the other day, but like in high school, I really like Fall Out Boy, but I was like, yeah, I was closeted about Fall Out Boy, and they're like, why? And I was like, because I saw one kid, he was like in an older, like he was older than me, but we were on the baseball team together, and like everybody, I guess like the from another cork tree had just dropped, so he was like listening to it and singing it all the time. He got bullied so fucking bad by everybody. Really? But here's the stupid part is that they were bullying him singing lyrics from Fall Out Boy songs. I'm like, you fuckers know the song.
You know the song.
I was like,
you know the song.
Yeah. I was like,
you're just being a dick.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you are singing the song.
They're singing deep cuts at him, like, how you fucking loser.
He was like, I don't even know that one.
It's like, because like we're like a hardcore band, like, because we're in like more in the hardcore scene or whatever. But like we've covered like
hella scene songs.
We cover the Guillotine by Escape the Fate, Heartless by A Day I Remember, and like people go crazy for it, and it's just like, I know y'all were talking shit at one point in time about bands that sound like this, even though you were listening to this in high school.
You're not slick.
Y'all ain't slick. I'll scroll back in your Facebook. I'll find your scene pictures. I know you got that swoopy hair pic.
That's man. I never got my hair like that.
I always wanted to.
I wanted to.
Had to wake up 30 minutes early to fly iron my shit, dude.
Yeah.
See, I still thought I was a boy in high school, so I had a fade because I was in football, and so but I would always see people dressing scene. I'm like, I kind of wish I could dress like that, but I was like, I gotta try to fit in with the jocks.
Yeah.
But I remember one time I went to practice and I was wearing cut off skinny jeans. I was wearing the jorts and a band shirt.
Yeah.
And I walk into the locker room and one of the wide receivers goes, "Nigga, you white as hell." I was like, all right. I mean, I'm not. If you look at my skin, I'm not white.
I'm pretty sure I'm not. I actually I did do that because my freshman year I did grow my hair out, and it's the longest I've ever grown. It's not like it curls up, so it was just like a big old poof like this, and the whole scene shit was going on. So I'm like, you know what? One of my friends was like, I can flat iron it for you, and I'm like, yeah, it's gonna look so great. Yeah, she did it right before school, and I'm like, I walked into like my first class, the entire fucking class just starts laughing. And I'm like, fuck this. I go to the damn bathroom, just like get water on it. Like, this needs to fucking come out.
I gotta fix
Poor
it.
OC.
Yeah, man,
Oh
kids-
shit, dude.
I've been wanting to straighten my hair just for fun, to just see what it looks like now.
Dude.
Because it's the longest it's been. Well, it's shorter than it was in 2019 and 2018. But I'm trying to get it to like grow back to that length so I can straighten it just to see what it would look
Just
like.
see what it
Hey,
looks like.
next time we do an emo night.
Honestly,
Bro,
yeah.
that'd actually be tight. But speaking of covers, like, honestly, the Triple H intro is so fucking sick.
Yeah.
This is the only thing I'm disappointed in. You're not doing the water thing. You gotta do the water spit.
I did it one night on tour. I think I did it in El Paso, maybe.
Okay, dude.
I know I did it one night on tour, and then honestly, last night I just forgot.
Yeah.
I was planning on doing it.
I thought you did it last night. It's kind of fucking nasty now that I think about it.
Like,
Dude,
what happened?
Dude, so
what got on you?
We're playing it, and I just felt water get on me, dude. And I was like, oh, River did it. No, it was probably some random fucking person in the crowd just fucking spitting on me. Like, what the fuck?
Because I remember when we like learned the cover, I told Zach, I was like, I need you to do the beginning part. Was like, it's time to play the game.
Yeah.
And I was like, you need to do it so I can have water in my mouth, so I can do it. And I only did it that one time.
Yeah.
But I meant to do it. Damn.
Yeah,
be forgetting shit.
I'm
I do.
gonna remind you, like, next time, right before the set. I'm like, this needs to happen. Like,
Yeah.
just because someone's gonna get that good picture and it's gonna be like immortalized. It's gonna be great.
That's a good point. You got
Honestly.
to keep that in
Yeah,
mind.
Yeah,
Right?
okay. I'm never not doing it.
Yeah. Nah, we full disclosure, we plan on playing that for
At
a
least,
while
like-
until we learn a new wrestling theme.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking good. Like, it's fun.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
when Bert and I saw you at Rubber Gloves, we were like, listening, was like, is that for fucking Triple H?
Hell
Like,
yeah.
We're
Yep.
all like pumped as shit. Yeah, no, it's such a good moment. And we were wondering, I was like, are they gonna play it again? And y'all did, and I'm like, it's still like people going fucking crazy for this shit. Like, it's so
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
People love that shit. My favorite part was because like Bed and Nails played that Rubber Glove show, and so I knew Daniel was gonna be there.
Yeah,
And
dude.
I know how interesting Daniel was, and so like as soon as I saw him at the show, I was like, "Did Zach tell you what we're playing?" He's like, "Yeah, you did. I'm so fucking excited." And I was like, "Hell yeah!"
I think he
And
started moshing. Too.
he mic grabbed too.
He hit it too.
Yeah,
that's
he
what's-
hit-
that's
he
what's
hit that
awesome,
hoe.
dude. Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude, that's so great. Like, again, like, these experiences are so fucking tight. Like, that you're getting to get with how like Ballista has just grown, and even like the dynamic now with like all the members, like, now just seems to like mesh so fucking well on
Yeah,
stage.
dude.
It
This
looks
is my
so
favorite.
fucking
Like
cool.
this is like not even just like from like a music standpoint, but like just as like a group of friends. This is my favorite lineup that we've had.
Yeah.
which reflects on like everything like getting made and put out, because I feel like that chemistry has just gotten even better, like,
Yeah.
with the lineup. And like I said, I hear most of like what I did at the beginning from like Ed when I talked to him, and now that's why I was like super excited when Zach was like, oh, like, I can come on, and I was like, yeah, I was like, that's gonna be badass. Like, I haven't talked to Zach before. And I was like, oh, like, he was like, do you mind if River comes by? I'm like, fuck yes. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, yes. Because again, I was like trying to figure out schedules and trying to get people in, and I had your email from when like I got the logo, the Ballista logo, and I'm like, I need to send that. And then like I got all wrapped around. I'm like, I didn't ever send them because I think y'all were on tour like when I asked for that. But yeah, like I was super excited that y'all you got the chance to stop by. I've definitely been wanting to talk to you for quite a bit. But with the writing, are you guys done writing the new EP yet, or is it
Not
still got a lot more?
done.
We've
Like,
got-
we have 2 songs that are done. Like,
Yeah, we
done,
got 2
done.
songs that are done, and then today we did a good amount of writing right before we came up here. Oh my god, my nose got like stuffy for no reason. We wrote like we did some writing before we came up here, and like we've got like pretty fleshed out songs. We just have to like work through them and like put the finishing touches on them and stuff. And then I think we wanted to start writing one more song.
We have all the riffs pretty much ready
Yeah, all
to
the
go.
riffs.
It's just like, like
putting them together.
Whenever Jonathan, whenever that shit happened with Jonathan, Jonathan is like a huge part of the band.
Yeah.
We would not want to sit there and write without him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we wanted to make it a point to go over there at least, just like, and at least come up with riffs with him. You know what I mean? And then, we'll put the drums to it on a later date, probably like in a few days or so.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, we pretty much finished all the actual riffs and the structures today. So
Hopefully pretty soon.
yeah, we're hoping for like April,
Yeah.
March.
As soon as
Sooner or
possible.
later.
As
We-
soon as
as soon as that
possible.
shit is done.
Yeah.
I mean, the good thing about recording your own band is that you don't have to wait for shit to get done. You know what I mean?
Y'all do
Yeah.
everything in house?
Oh yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
whole Ballista Territory album we did in house. We bought like everything pretty much to record that.
Yeah, we were just like, we could either pay somebody like $4,000 to give us a product that, we might not be completely happy with and that really doesn't understand what we're going for, or
Yeah.
we can just fucking like invest as much money as we can, get the equipment ourselves, and because I already had like a little bit of experience recording, and just fucking figure it out as we go.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how the NoiseROT EP happened, the Amnesia Garden EP, Ballista Territory. Like that's how all that shit pretty much came about.
Didn't you do like Dysmorphia too?
Yeah.
You've done all of those?
I did the first NoiseROT EP. So we started recording Ballista Territory,
Yeah.
right? And in between, in the middle of that, I did the first NoiseROT EP and the Amnesia Garden EP. And about halfway through, I was listening back to like the Ballista stuff, and I was like, dude, I've gotten so much better just doing like these two projects.
Oh, shit.
Like,
So we scrapped it.
we fucking
re-recorded
deleted
the
everything.
whole
Redid
thing.
everything.
Yeah.
and just started again. But yeah, I did the NoiseROT stuff. I did the Amnesia Garden stuff. Ballista Territory, obviously. Dysmorphia. Who else is it?
You did guitars for Deep Incision, right?
Yeah, that hasn't come out yet though. So,
Never mind.
so
Never mind.
But, I did the True Grit EP.
Yeah, the True Grit EP.
And the most recent NoiseROT EP too.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's quite a fucking recipe.
And like all my guest spots too.
Yeah, every single guest spot that River has ever
Yeah.
done, or not ever done, but like a lot of them.
It might have been all of them. Actually.
Everything
now
that-
that I think about it, it might have been every guest spot that I've done.
Yeah, if River has been on anything in the last year, that's been something that we did in Robert's bedroom.
Everything I think except for the hollowed out guest spot that I did.
No, because
That was forever ago.
Remember my old band that you did a guest spot for?
Oh
At
yeah,
JoJo's?
yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot we did that at JoJo's. Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
Damn. Still though, that's
Yeah.
fucking. I feel like there's so much fucking power in that and doing your own shit. It's just
Yeah,
like
it's fucking better, dude.
It's so much fun
Yeah.
too, because like it gives us like another excuse to just like hang out and
Yeah.
like do Ballista shit
Yeah.
together.
Because DJ does the same thing now, right?
DJ's been doing stuff like it hasn't had a lot of like time to like do
Yeah.
but yeah, the same thing where it's like, oh, like we got all like if you like when you guys walked in there in the front, like that's like the workstation that we're building.
Yeah.
Because we moved here last year, so like
Oh,
everything's
okay,
still
cool.
like in motion. But yeah, we're like planning to do a bunch of tracking like in the living room. Then like that connects right to the garage, so we're like gonna fit that up to
Yeah.
be like tracking. And then like this was just an extra room, and we're like, I go, give me this one.
a
I was
good
like, let me have this one, and like I want to be able to set up in here to
Yeah.
people can come in and like and it's a lot easier. We don't have to tear anything down because before
Yeah.
like I was doing it out of my living room like forever, which was
Yeah.
fucking fine. It was just I just wanted to be able to show enough like also respect for everybody coming in here. I was like, I
Yeah.
appreciate your time. Like you're coming in here like
Hell yeah.
I was like, I want you to feel comfortable and have an actual like fun time like coming in here. So we're definitely trying to dedicate more time to that. But recording yourself, one thing you just said and I want to touch on it is like you might get a product of someone that doesn't understand what you're trying to do, and like exactly like what you're going for, so you understand like what stuff should sound like or what vibe just instrumentation like should be putting out, or like the vocals need to sound like this is the type of attitude, especially with subject matter that's going on. Like there's a type of like energy and like that needs to go into like the music and the recording to come through on like a record, because it's very hard to capture.
Yeah. And like that's Jonathan and I spent like countless nights just like talking about like how we want this shit to sound, like the vibe we're going for with everything, and it's just like the more we were all talking about it, it was just like I don't think we can go to anybody because I don't think anybody would get, you know, what we're trying to do. You know what I mean?
Zach was such a perfectionist with recording the Ballista, like especially with like the mixing. Because I remember like when we finished it and like I remember we were over at Roberts and we all were like, yeah, that's the mix, like that's the one. And I remember before, because I left, I think like right after we all like decided like, yeah, that's the one, it's good. And so I was driving home, and by the time it took me to get from East Dallas to Fort Worth, like Zach, I think had set like 3 different mixes since the one that we all agreed was the one. And I was like, they all sound great to me. I mean, I was like, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
I like, how do I say this? Like, a Ballista territory is the most important thing like I've ever done in anything, in any musical project I've ever been a part of, and I just wanted it to be
100% same.
I wanted it to be something I could look back on, you know, 30 years down the line and say like, dude, we fucking did that.
We did that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's especially again. I definitely feel like the ownership. It's like it's your band first of all. Like so, it's you want to put out something good, but. Yeah, that album, I and this is just looking at it from the outside, it seems like super important to like what I think Ballista is, and it feels that way, like capturing that energy. So I can definitely see like going back and just having to be like, it's got to be like, it can be better in this, but I feel like that's hard because you run into like, you know that it can always be better, so it's figuring out where that cutoff is.
Like when am I like too focused on trying to make it better, like. Man, I had a whole thought, and then it just, it's no, like when am I too focused on like making it perfect that like it's taking like when is it like stop being worth it to try to make it perfect?
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I completely agree. Like
that's the sentiment I was trying to.
Like obviously, I listened back to the True Greed EP we just dropped, and I listened back to like the Soledad stuff that literally just dropped, and I'm like. This obviously sounds better, you know what I mean? But like, I also listened back to Ballista Territory, and I was like, dude, we did this by the skin of our teeth, like having a basic idea of what we're doing when it came to recording and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I'm to a point now where I can listen back. I'm like, you know what? I'm better now. I learned a lot from this, but like, I'm still incredibly proud of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, your skills are always growing.
Yeah.
So there's no way for you to. If you keep going at it, of course you're going to keep finding ways to make it better because your skills are going to keep growing.
Yeah.
But there's a point where you're like, oh, I got to put something out, like, or else like I never put something out.
Otherwise you'll just sit on it forever.
Yeah, and it'll never be perfect. Like it'll never be. And I talk about a lot about where some of like my favorite albums have been like shitty recordings, like they haven't been good.
Yeah, I love so many
and
bad
I'm like,
albums.
they're so
like I'll listen to an album and I'm like, all right, the recording sucks, but the music is awesome.
Yeah,
like I listen back to like those like early Between the Buried and Me recordings because I fucking love Between the Buried and Me, and I'm just like, this sounds like asshole. Like it sounds really bad, but like the songs are fucking good. It's mixed well, and it's just like it's still good music.
Yeah, it's also like whatever like the musicianship went into like the actual writing of the music, and also it's a song of its times. It's a song of like whatever that band had available at the moment. You know, if you could only like record like in this like whatever scenario, or like you went to something, at the end of the day, like the song will speak for itself, and that like rolls back into being as fucking genuine and 100% with like your music as possible, because you could have a shitty recording, but if that song is fucking great, like
people are gonna love it.
People are gonna love it. Like it's proven time and time again. Like again, like everyone that I know can name like a song that you go back and listen to. I'm like, this sounds like ass. Yeah. But it's a great song, and you can't take that away. Like you can shit on recordings, you can shit on that. You can't shit on a good song, like on a good music. Like, and that's how you should be. Like, it should be something that is like. What's the fucking word? Undeniable. It's just like, it's a good song. It's like, if you know that you put like everything that you had into like that music, and like I said, people will feel that. People that know you will understand like where you're coming from. People that don't like will see like this raw energy. I think is like the basic that I get out of like a lot of stuff that I listen to from like that energy gets captured. and then I love that again. My favorite thing has always been seeing stuff live, because I've had things where that's why I appreciate like live shows and just like live music so fucking much, because there's no reciprocating that feeling of being like there in person and like witnessing again crowds, witnessing the energy on stage, the music, just like it's like none other. Like, so seeing, like, even like I said, in the past month I've seen y'all 3 times, and every like time it's been the same crazy amount of energy. Like, it shows I'm like, this is cool. Like, and it's one thing that I've actually like it kind of dawned on me that I talk about the hardcore scene a lot, and I don't think I've had like any hardcore bands on the podcast, and I was just like, I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, what the hell? And I'm like, I'm fucking idiot. So like, that's why I was super pumped about this, and I'm like, I'm happy to finally like actually like talk a little bit about it. But yeah, that sense of community is one thing that I love about like music, is just like going out and meeting people. And I've met a lot of people at shows just in general, but the hardcore scene has been the easiest way for me to make friends. Like found people. It's like, oh, like and talk to people, and people come out to support like that, like none other. And like, I'm like, that's cool. And then I've actually like quoted like to DJ and stuff like that when we started NoiseROT. I'm like, okay, that community is like, how do we build that with every fucking genre? Like, everything that we do, like,
exactly.
That community, like that sense of community needs to be built like everywhere. Like, it's so fucking great and accepting, and it's definitely like super cool to see. To like, you know, even like last night, like, that shit being sold out at fucking Andy's is fucking
that was wild.
Nuts. Yeah,
that was a wild show, man. That because I've been seeing I Am for like 10 years, and like last night, like I moshed for them probably harder than I have moshed for like any band in like 4 years. Like, since like probably 2018 was probably the last time I moshed anywhere close to that hard. And it's just like, it's crazy because like I've like been friends with these dudes for years. I've been watching them for years, and they still put on such an awesome, crazy show that it made me feel young again. Like, I turned fucking 29 this year, and I know I don't want to talk about it any more than that, but it made me feel like I was fucking like in my early 20s again. Like, I don't know, that shit was awesome.
That that you could kind of see that a lot in everybody out there, and it's cool. You kind of at the Scalp show, you brought up something on stage about kind of seeing all like the younger bands like coming up. Like, do you feel like a kind of what's the term? It's just like someone showing like you feel like a responsibility to show like younger bands, someone like the Ropes, just be like as welcoming as possible.
Absolutely.
Something like that.
Dude, you never know when you're gonna like meet someone that starts a band like Turf Burner. You know what I mean?
Man, Turf Burner
is sick.
And like, I don't want to call them kids, but to us, you know what I mean? It's just like
they're the youngins.
Yeah, like, youngins. There you go.
They're youngins, but like they're putting out some fucking awesome music.
Really,
and I remember we played with them. Well, True Grit played with them, and then we did the secret set at Growl.
Yeah.
And they covered they covered
Eyeless. Yeah.
They covered Eyeless by Slipknot. Slipknot's my favorite band of all time.
Okay.
And I went crazy. I was wearing fucking Timbs. I was on Zach mode wearing Timbs, and I was just kicking the shit out of people because I was so hyped. I was like, oh, these youngins get it. They understand.
Thank you.
They know what is going on.
Yeah, there's a shit ton of like.
I could use another one.
I just want to note that OC came through with the cooler full of Budweiser.
I didn't know. I was like, I don't know if everyone's drinking. I was like, I'll just get a bunch.
Yeah, you got
we'll figure it out. And I was like, I'll just get the biggest pack. It was like,
it's funny because me and Zach drink like fucking fucking Camel.
Badass, dude. That's the same. Like, I forgot who I had in here. Said the People. I had them in here, and like same thing. I was like, yeah, just get us some beer. And I was like, I don't know if they're all gonna drink. And at first they were like, kind of being chill about it. And then by the end, like we were drinking past everything. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I'm glad I got enough. Like, whatever. But yeah, there's so much like new bands, new talent like coming up.
Dude,
and
it's
actually
nuts.
Like, as soon as the pandemic ended, because like I feel like a lot of bands like either like called it quits or kind of just faded out. during the pandemic. But then, like, after the pandemic, so many new bands popped up, like Soledad,
Deep Incision,
Gagging Order, Amnesia Garden when they were still around, and then, like, all the youngin' bands that have been starting up, too. Like, all these bands popped up after pandemic, and they're all awesome. And it's so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that time, there's a lot of bands ended, but so much came out of that shit.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like so fucking excited.
Hell yeah!
I was saying it to Zach like a couple weeks ago. I was like, there aren't any like bands that like, because like I feel like especially when I first started out, like back in the Focus Hour days, or even when me and Jonathan were in south of Sonora, there were always like bands.
Shit, you were in south of Sonora.
Yeah, I played bass, but there was always like bands that were like they're fine, but like they're kind of mid. So it's like, that band can open again, type of thing, because like you don't want to make like the bands that are like really good like have to open, and so then like after the pandemic, it's like every band that was still around or started was really good. So it's like, I don't want to make anybody open. You know what I mean?
Booking a show is tough.
Booking a show
tough as
sucks.
shit. Yeah.
Cause I'm like, I want to have all these bands, but I don't want to make this like the newer band like obviously would be lower, and it's like, it makes sense on the lineup that they would open, but I don't want them to open.
It's tough, dude.
Every one of those shows, like, I mean, the Rubber Glove show, I looked at, like, everybody on there, I'm just like, I go, I guess, like, Bed of Nails was the newest one.
That was the Bed of Nails first show.
Yeah, like, it's their first show, so it makes sense.
Other than that,
but then that set was awesome.
And I even told Edward, like, we will open.
Like props to you, because, like, that was fucking awesome. That was such a good first show.
Yeah.
That shit was badass.
It was so good, and I looked at that, I'm like, yeah, they're all good. And I was like, they're all really fucking good. And you look at, like, the performances, like, I, like, watched all of them, like, this is fucking killer. Like, this is great. Like, I love that there's so much, like, good bands and just like new like really good bands coming out and writing some dope shit, and just like in like I've seen them in like in all like types of genres. Like I remember we ran into a band called Bad Lives. They sent me some recordings, and they were like, yeah, we're getting them on this show to open, and I listened to them like, oh, they're really good. How long they've been around? It's like since like a few months ago, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like I was like, everything like sounded good, but like people were just like, I don't know, like maybe just people like just during the pandemic just got their like shit together. We're just like, you know what? I mean, you got nothing else to do, like, so you probably figured out, hey, I want to discover this, and you have nothing but time, and then like having the ability to record yourself again. I talk about that so fucking much, because I see like how important that is, of how you can record yourself over and over, figure out ideas, like figure out your own style. You don't have to worry about anybody else like spending money on time to like. I'm always even still like nervous about like doing a shit ton of vocal takes in front of somebody, and I'm gonna do those at home.
That's
like,
the worst.
That's my least
dude.
favorite thing about us like all recording stuff like together, and like us doing it ourselves, is like I'll do like vocal takes. I'm like, that sounds so bad. I was like, they're not good. They're gonna want to like not be in this band anymore because of that take. Like, cause I remember there was one that I felt was, I don't even remember what song it was, what part of what song, but I remember there was one take that was like really bad, like that I thought was really bad on the album. When we first recorded it, or like when I was first doing vocals, and everyone was like, oh, that was sick, good take, and I kept listening to it back, and I was like, that sounds so bad.
I think it was Path of Deicide.
It was Path of Deicide. And then like I went back and I re-recorded it like over and over again until I felt good about it, and then like I was like, okay.
And it sounded like just like the first.
It sounded exactly
the one you hated.
It sounded so similar. I was like, oh yeah, that's the one. They're like, okay.
I was like, all right, we spent 30 minutes trying to get the exact single one you did. No, I'm just fucking with you. No, I feel it. I remember one time when I was in Eye with the Sky, we were recording a song. And I was not screaming in the band. I was singing, which I'm sure you know, it's different than screaming. You know what I mean?
I don't even understand because I can't sing worth shit.
Dude, I was singing, and there was a room full of fucking people while I was tracking, and I was just like, dude, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
no, the first time I was so glad that the EP that like Under Oblivion put out.
Yeah.
I'm so happy we paid per song, because I fucking took days doing like vocals.
Yeah.
I was like, there was just days I would go in there and nothing was usable, and I'm like, I fucking suck, and I'm like, I was so in my head, and I was like, yeah, I'm fucking terrible. Like I don't know why am I even doing this? Like, can we just like cut it now and like not do anything? But I had a different experience, like and it's just like, one, it was like the first time I was going in to record like something actually like kind of big. And then I never fucking warmed up or did anything like that. I was like, it's fine, let's fucking go. Yeah. But like when it's and I had another experience when we recorded like the last single that like that band ever put out, where that day I was like, okay, like I had like tea, like had my like honey and shit like that. I did warm ups before it, and like it was one song, but I knocked that shit out in like half an hour, and I'm like, it, like screams and singing.
That's
and I'm
the
like,
best feeling is when you
like,
when you just
fuck?
nail one.
Like, you tell me I'm prepared. Like I was like, you tell me if you prepare, this shit goes easier. I'm like,
was it on tour like this most recent one? Because like. For like the 2 hours like leading up to the show, I'll just be like walking around. We'll stop at a gas station. I'll just be like
that's exactly
like just like walking through the gas station.
I do the same shit.
And like Zach, I remember there was one time where I was like doing it, and Zach walked up to me. He was like, "I understand why you do that now."
Dude, because like whenever that show at Rubber Gloves, I got there late due to circumstances I could not control with my vehicle, but so I literally showed up, we loaded in all the shit, and I did not have a chance to like warm up or anything. So like the first 2 songs, I was just hollering. Like it was just noise. And like, so now like the next day, we were in El Paso when you said that to me, and I was like, yep. I get why you just walk around screaming into your hand.
Yeah, I'll just walk around.
It helps. Like it's stupid because like I have a friend who's like a vocal coach and all this stuff, and told me one time like all the exercises, and I'm like, I'm gonna look like a fucking idiot doing this shit, like walking around the venue. And it's all, and I'm like, whatever. And it's all like the humming and the whole like fucking shit, all that stuff.
One that I learned was buzzing, like
the buzzing, the buzzing, And I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, it's gonna look embarrassing. And then like I did it for one show, and I'm like, I'm always gonna fucking do that. Like,
even for True Grit sets, I have like 2 vocal parts, and I think it's like a total of 4 words. Oh, really? Like between the two parts, and I'll even do that just for that because I remember one time I didn't before True Grit, and I tried to hit the My Resistance part, and I watched a video back later. I was like, that sounded so bad. So like ever since then, I just like make sure even for just those 2 parts, I still warm up before the set.
Like I remember like I had a bad habit of writing shit that I couldn't sing like all the time for under. Like I used to be like, I when we recorded, I'm like, and especially when we recorded the EP, I did a bunch of shit, and I'm like, I can get it once in the studio out of like a shit ton of takes, and it's like, and then I'll figure it out live. And I never did while the band was like really going. On the last shows we ever did, like once we were like pretty much already broken up or whatever, the last show, I was so sad because like it's the few shows where I hit all of those notes.
You finally did it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this shit's easy. It's like, oh, I can write way harder shit than this now. And I'm like, this is our last show. It was like last year we played the 420 takedown thing.
Oh yeah, 420.
Did that, and we played that, and I was like, oh, I hit all these hoes. Like I was like, fuck. And I was like, this is our last show. Even like had people coming up and like, he's like, when are you guys playing again? I was like, I have some bad news. Like
this was a reunion.
Yeah. Like we barely got this one done. We weren't even supposed to play that. Like literally someone dropped, and we were like, I kid around, like someone dropped the first time, and I was like, we can bring Under Oblivion back for one last one. And then they were like, yeah, whatever. And then like 2 people dropped, and I was like, okay, we might have to figure this out. We had like 3 practices before like we like did it. But it was fun as shit. Like I said, playing live is just something like I would definitely like am interested in getting back to, like in whatever capacity.
No, you need to. You're mad talented.
I appreciate that.
I remember because like we were talking about the Focus Hour earlier.
Yeah.
The first time I ever saw y'all was the Focus Hour, and Under Oblivion played a battle of the bands together, and y'all won.
Oh my god!
And I was so mad about that for like 2 months because I was like, that was the best set we've ever played.
Yeah, that was.
I was like, man, what the fuck?
I was wearing a Christmas sweater. I know that.
No, I was. Yeah, I was wearing a Christmas sweater. We brought that like light up snowman on stage. We had one of those mini Christmas trees too on stage.
Oh, y'all did.
Yeah, but no, I remember I was so pissed. I was like, they were really good, but man,
I mean,
I felt good about our set. What the fuck?
Battle of the Bands were like all political and ticket sales and all that shit.
Dude,
that's when like I was like, after that one, I think we played. I used to kid around. I was like, hey, we're undefeated on Battle of the Bands. So we did like 3. But we got hoed like on like one of them like was a battle for like they used to do the Winter Jamboree, and I think like the Faceless was supposed to be playing.
The battle to open for Oh Sleeper.
Yeah, all that shit. Yeah, and then I remember at the end of the day, the entire like tour like show thing dropped and ended up being a local show at Trees that we won.
Oh my God.
For. Yeah.
That is wild.
That's horrible.
This was the same shady ass person that did the Dayseeker show. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, you thought it was Richard. It's not Richard Hudson. So you.
No, I know.
You know who it is.
Is it KD?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Man,
he used to
Might
love.
as well call that fucker out.
Kevin
I
Dunlap.
have a
Fuck
story.
you.
Yeah.
Fuck
I
you,
have a
Kevin
story
Dunlap.
about that
He did.
motherfucker.
He rode for the Focus Hour though. He was the only person that ever paid the Focus Hour. One time, Islander dropped a headliner at Tomcats.
Yeah.
He messaged me day of. He's like, "Does the Focus Hour want a headline? I'll pay you $100." I was like, "Yeah, sure."
We played that.
Oh shit! Hell yeah!
We were supposed to play with Islander. Yeah, I remember
Fucking
that one.
Truth and Consequence played that
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're out of Tyler. Is that them who are still?
I think they're from Tyler, right? Do
No,
you
no,
remember that band?
not Tyler. It's.
I'm sorry, I got
what are
blacked
those
out
things?
because of my anger. What were y'all talking about? I thought about some shit that made me mad that happened to me 10 years ago.
You go for it. Let's unravel it. Let's go.
Let's unpack.
Damn.
What did Kevin do to you?
All right, so my very first band, right? Because you remember like back in the day, like you'd have like a random post-hardcore bands coming through,
Yeah.
and like, oh, can you sell 20 tickets to open for this band that no one in your friend circle has ever heard of?
Yeah, because I had to do that one time.
Okay,
Yep.
'cause so yeah, we started like being more picky.
One
with
time.
we started being more picky with the shows that we selected. You know what I mean? Because we want to make sure we were like, all right, we'll have one show a month. That way we can guarantee we can sell 20 tickets. I'm talking back right now, and
Yeah.
I'm like, this is crazy to think of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is some wild shit.
Why did we do this?
Why
Yes.
did we? Yeah, exactly.
Why were we just okay with having to pull the weight of the promoter?
I don't fucking know, dude.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
fuck,
what gets
okay.
me about
Especially for those busted ass shows.
busted
like
ass shows.
busted.
But yeah, so we were on a show with it was a really good show actually with a band called Indirections. And
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
yeah, and they're popping. I think this was actually Caleb from Forgotten's first show with them. Now that I think
Okay.
about it. Which
Yeah,
is really
I
cool.
forgot that Caleb did that.
Yeah. So we were asked to So Katie fucking messaged me, right? Like, hey, can you play this show? And I was like, nah, we have this show booked. And I couldn't even tell you what bands were. Some bum ass, not bum ass. No offense to the bands. Some bum ass shows though.
Yeah.
That we could not sell 30 tickets to.
Yeah.
And this happened like 3 more times that month. And he was finally like, he was not working with Third String at the time either, who booked that Indirection show.
Yeah.
So, and he was like, oh, y'all are playing with Indirections, right? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, what if I took y'all off that show since y'all seem to not be able to play money of the shows I offer you? And I was like,
What
my
the
God.
fuck?
no, and dude, I still have the text messages, dude. I still got them.
I'd save them bitches too. So
I'll show you.
He goes back just to get mad again.
just to get mad.
Yeah,
Right before
fuck it,
Ballista
yeah.
said, he's just like,
No.
hell yeah, let's fucking go.
And he was like, yeah, it sounds like you'll have a lot to figure out. And I was like, motherfucker, we figured it out. We figured out that we cannot play 3 shows a month and sell 60 tickets.
Yeah, it's so fucking the old and it's weird that whole idea of like, yeah, we're cool with it, like it's fine. You let that
Yeah.
shit happen. You let that shit slide.
I know, we were just like, oh, that makes
That's the way
sense.
it works,
That's
you know
the
what I
way
mean?
that works.
Like I feel like pre-sales, like in retrospect, like it was very fucking stupid in retrospect. But what I will say,
But
that seems so stupid.
Everyone just kind of like thought. I feel like everyone thought like that everybody was on board with it, so everyone just went along
That's the
with
thing.
it.
Yeah, I think it's just coming in, like, especially like as a new band, is like, oh, I guess that's how it works. Like, so I
Yeah,
have to.
it's like I don't know.
but what, like, all right, I don't want to sound like I'm dick riding or anything,
Yeah.
but like at least like whenever we played like a show that Orlando sent us or something like that, I was like, all right, yeah, we could probably do like 20 pre-sales to this, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, and not like have to fucking like, hey, I'm in a band called yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Are you
wanna go to our
interested in?
show?
Are you
Yeah.
interested in us playing with this show? With this show?
So
Yeah,
I
dude.
think we had that. Like, so we played. I think Atreyu was coming to town, and we're like, oh, that'd be kind of cool to play. And then we
Yeah.
offered, and they're like, well, how many tickets can you sell? And I'm like, and I go, and I looked at everything we discussed, and I'm like, we can guarantee you 50. We might do more, but I'll like 100% sell you 50. And he's like, well, everybody out here is like bidding like all these more tickets. I'm like, cool, go with them then. I'm like, not fucking around. I was like, I'm guaranteeing you this. Circled around, like it took like a week, came back to us. It's like, all right, well, I'll get you on it. Cool. And then we started like selling tickets. We ended up selling like 70 or some fucking bullshit, like some crazy amount.
More than I ever tried to do. Every
Yeah.
band that I was in that had to sell pre-sales, I was the only person that sold
gave a
Frieza.
fuck?
Yeah, like
you always had that imbalance, like in bands. Like,
I was
who's
so
like working.
I was so pissed because I remember the second time Knock Loose ever played Dallas. So it was before they ever like blew up like the way they are now. South of Sonora played, and I remember they were like, yeah, just 25 ticket pre-sale,
Yeah.
or whatever. It was fucking it was Chris Camp,
We're
yeah.
name dropping today.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
but
I like Chris Camp. I've always had
I-
positive
Chris,
experience.
I
with Chris
haven't
Camp.
I haven't talked to him. I don't think since that show. If I'm being
Oh,
honest, so I don't know what he's like.
Yeah. I don't know now, but at the
I
time,
don't. Yeah, I liked him at the
Yeah,
time. I don't know
yeah.
what he's like now, but no, it was like 25, and I was like, that's not bad. Like for opening for Knock Loose, cool.
Yeah.
I sold
use
not.
Richard real quick.
I sold
Go for it.
19 tickets myself, and we sold 19 tickets total.
Yeah.
And I was like, y'all couldn't sell 6 tickets.
I swear, like every time we had that, like I was like, we have 5 band members. I'm like everything was like 20 to 25 that we were
If
playing at a
everyone
time.
sells
Like,
2,
it's fine. Yeah,
like that's at
it's
least
not-
halfway.
Yeah. I'm like, it's not that bad. I was like, 5 people, right? Like, like you can do that.
Yeah.
But it was just always so weird. But the idea of like having to sell tickets just to play, and you would sell like a ridiculous amount,
Especially
and not
to
get,
win like Battle of the Bands and shit.
Battle of
That
Bands,
was the worst.
yeah, I mean, I think the first Battle of Bands, that one we did was our first show. Like,
Oh really?
Yeah.
Man, oh, that makes me even more mad in retrospect.
I was like, I should've said-
it was like our 5th show,
Yeah.
like maybe.
we had, and then I mean, no, we didn't have a bass player either.
My least favorite, it's my favorite / least favorite Battle of the Bands like story.
Yeah.
Is South of Sonora played a Battle of the Bands, and it was it was the day it started freezing raining. Like it was the
okay.
day that Texas winter started, and
Yeah.
it was horrible. And so I get to the venue first, and everyone else is like taking their goddamn time to get there because they're all going together. And like we're next to play. I'm like, where the hell are y'all?
Yeah.
And so they pull up, they park, and we're sprinting through the streets of Deep Ellum in freezing rain. Like there's puddles, but it's like 20 degrees outside.
Yeah.
So we're freezing, we're soaked. The equipment's getting wet and shit.
Fuck.
Get on stage, play like the best set we had played like the whole time that I'd been in the band.
Yeah.
And like we sold a decent amount of tickets too. I don't remember how many, but we sold a decent amount for the Battle of the Bands and everything. Promoter like tweeted about us and everything. We were like, oh, we got this in the bag. And like
Yeah.
watching the rest of the bands of the night, there was like one other band that I was like, I think they're the only ones that might have been better than us.
Yeah.
But like I confidently feel like we were better than all the other bands that
Yeah.
played. And then like they announced the winners at the end. They were like, we're actually gonna have 3 winners, and we were like, okay, well that's definitely us. And
Oh,
so like
no.
the first band they announced
I don't
was
like where this is going.
yeah, the first band they announced was the band that I expected like would be the one better than us. I was like, okay, but there's 2 other bands. It's got to be us. And then they announced like the other 2 bands, and I can't remember. I'm not gonna name drop them.
Yeah.
I can't remember why I was mad about one of them winning, but I was super pissed about. Well, I think I was just mad because they definitely just sold more tickets, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I was pretty confident they bought their own ticket. You know what? I'll name drop that one. The Human Experiment. Fuck the Human Experiment.
The Human Experiment.
No, fuck that band. I think they just all bought their tickets probably. Fuck you, Cam Browder. And then, but then the other band.
Oh shit! Yeah.
The other
Goddamn.
band that like also got it was managed by someone that was running
Yeah,
the Battle of
what
the
the
Bands.
fuck? Dude,
And
that shit happened to us. dude.
So the
Fucking
band that I thought would win, I was fine with because I assumed they would. But the other 2 was like on some sold the most tickets to themselves bullshit, and is managed by the people that are that's the only reason they
Yo,
decided to
fuck
make
that.
it 3 bands.
Yeah.
And I was so pissed. The only good thing about that night is I met Owen Wilson.
Hold on, what the fuck?
He was at the show.
What, really? What
Yeah,
the
because
shit?
I think he has a house in Dallas, or he lives in Dallas.
Yeah.
And so after our set, like we were all like just hanging out,
Yeah.
and Max, the drummer for
my
for
God.
South of Sonora, he was like, I think Owen Wilson's at the bar. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I turn, I look, and I was like, I think you're right. I think that is Owen Wilson. So we went up to the bar, and we just like took the seats next to him. We looked over. We were like, you are Owen Wilson, right? He's like, yeah, I'm just trying to have like a chill night out, whatever. But so like, don't like tell people I'm here because I don't want to get like swarmed by people who are like, no, definitely, like we get it. Yeah. We shook his hand. We didn't take pictures. We didn't like we didn't like do anything. We just shook his hand. And we were like, all right, have a good night.
Yeah.
And then we went and told the rest of South Sonora, but like we were like, don't go over there because he doesn't want people to know he's there. He told us we had a good set or whatever. I was like, hell yeah, that's all I need.
That's the flex.
I won. And then fast forward to the end of the night after they announced the winners and everything. We're out on the street like bitching about not winning. Yeah. And we just see Owen Wilson and like the two dudes that was with him like kind of rush out and people like following him. So like someone else noticed and told people. Then fast forward like a while after that, and the Human Experiment posted they posted a song, and the song title is like we met Owen Wilson at Club Dada and he said we have a cool band name. Like that's the name of the song. Yeah. And I was like, you're definitely the ones that spilled that he was there. That was definitely you fucking assholes.
Dude, God, dude, yeah, that band, Jesus, yeah. I want us like if I started, we would just like it would be a whole like hate 20 minutes, dude. But I had the funniest Battle of the Band story that I have is just, I mean, really quickly, is one that we didn't even want to do. Like we weren't on it. It's just that whoever was running it hit us up. He's like, hey, I had a band drop. I just need someone to play, and we're like, fuck it, we'll play. So we weren't even like whatever trying to win or anything. For y'all type shit. It was just a show. So we played it. Tell me why because it was one of those. It was one of like the Sumerian guys was there. Whatever. I don't know who the fuck it was. But it was. Yeah. But yeah, it was some show. I mean, and I was like, who the fuck cares? She's like, but he'll give everybody critiques and stuff like that. Anyways,
I think I remember seeing the flyer for that one. Actually.
So we don't win. We don't win or whatever. And I'm like, who gives a fuck? And then like, but they pull us aside to give us our critique or things. Like, these are stuff that you can work on. And he's like, yeah. He's like, honestly, guys, like you guys sound really good. This and that, blah blah blah. He's like, but I'm gonna tell you right now, like, the image is not gonna work. And I'm like, we're like. Okay, like I guess whatever. And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah," and he was talking to like me and DJ. Basically, he's like fat shaming us.
Oh no!
I was like, "Yeah, you guys are too fat to do the music that you're doing." Dude. And I was like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Yeah, man, like maybe
you don't you don't wear a size 28 jeans, skinny jeans." So.
And I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" I was like, "We didn't want to play this shit." Like now I'm like,
dude, probably look like an H&M fucking figurine that you see in like the
I was
size 28 skinny jeans, scalloped black tee.
And like going back to like what we're talking about now, like here's why, in my opinion, shit is so much better is because like something was going around like on Instagram or Twitter or something like that saying like, yo, if you don't have at least one big dude in your band, I don't want to listen to y'all. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, dude, that's spot on.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know.
Well, yeah, because like, the whole like image shit is fucking weird. Like especially like if it's like with fucking body types and stuff like that. Like who the fuck cares? Like if you don't want to fucking play what you're playing, who gives a shit? Like I'm like,
exactly.
Make some dope shit.
And like especially like when it comes to like one of the like the worst thing that I ever see personally is like bands that have like anyone like femme in the band.
Yeah.
Like if you're not like a cute petite type femme, like people just like don't care.
Yeah.
Or like at least like people that matter, like record labels, like agents, shit like that.
Yeah.
Like will like not care if you're not like the body standard for a femme. And so that's why I love being like, because I'm just naturally jacked. Like I always have. I have a picture of me when I was 4, and I got fucking biceps. I'm holding that.
What the fuck?
If it wasn't so deep,
baby?
if it wasn't so deep in my camera roll, I'd pull it up. But no, like I'm holding like a super soaker, and I'm like jacked. And so I've just always been like that. And so like that's why I like to lean really hard into it, like on stage, because I like just being a buff ass bitch on stage. And so like last night, like I was wearing the scowl halter top and stuff, and I was watching videos like I said this morning. I was like, I look so buff, it's so hard.
I did notice that. Like I think like you turned around and I'm like, the back is just like, oh man, she looks fucking ripped.
It's all just like natural. Like I don't even understand why, because like all I do is drink beer and sit on my couch. I don't do anything athletic except mosh. Like I don't go to the gym, I don't do shit. So why do I look like this? But I might as well own it.
Yeah. Fuck it. Yeah, and I think I like that. Like everything, like you know, I think it's a lot less. The music, at least that like moves me and that I fucking love, it's way the fuck less about that shit. Normally, like, and then that tweet or whatever, at least so you don't have like one big dude or whatever, like makes fucking sense because I look at it now. If it looks too fucking overproduced, like it
looks
everything
fake.
looks
like
fake.
it's hard to take it as seriously.
It comes back to that, like,
and like it's not like obviously if there's a band full of skinny dudes and they're awesome, they're still awesome.
Yeah.
They're still awesome, but
not
like
to skinny shame.
Yeah, not to skinny shame.
Yeah,
or
we're not
like
skinny
that.
shaming.
But like it feels a lot more genuine when like you can tell that it's like this isn't just a band that's just like trying to do an image type thing, trying to look like a boy band type of thing. Like when you can tell they're just like homies that make music together.
Yeah,
that's what you can tell. Like it's just if it looks like just people that got together and were writing music. Because I mean, there was that formula that kept coming out. You kept seeing that like the same band and maybe not the maybe like the music too, but like especially just the images. Like these are like the same things. Someone found the cookie cutter, and that's my whole beef with like some record labels is that they find like one thing that works somewhere else. I'm like, we just have to copy that shit and it's gonna work somewhere else. And I'm like, fuck the formula, dude. That's like what makes the shittiest like music or forgettable music. I'll take that. Like, there's stuff that'll like pop or whatever, but I'm like, no one's remembering that shit like later on.
There was a period of time like years ago, like in like a couple, I think it was like a couple lineups ago, but like there was a period of time where we used to always joke in Ballista because it was like every member of the band looks like they're from a different band because like we were so like not committed to like looking a certain way and just like being ourselves that like all of us had like a different style because like, we just dressed the way we all wanted to, and it was just so funny because there's one picture I know it's from, I don't know which show it was, but I know it was at 523 Thompson in Austin. And like I'm dressed like pretty femininely. I think I was wearing like a long sleeve like athletic shorts and fishnets, and then like everyone else in the band also was like dressed completely differently. Yeah. And Aaron was wearing a blazer. I remember that much. But like that shit was so funny because it's just like if you just looked at all of us individually, you would not think we were a group. And that was my favorite. That like I loved that cool. Era visually was just really funny because it was like just 5 random people decided to get on the stage together is what it looked like.
Fuck. And I mean, I again, like, it just goes back to being fucking real, genuine, and that shit is just fucking, like it's sick. No matter, and again, every show that like we're looking in, putting on, I always love that. I'm like, especially like I fucking love when it looks like it's not gonna be like what it's gonna be, and then like it surprises me. I'm like, dude, I love being surprised, like especially by music and shit. Like, oh, you don't sound like that, or you don't look like you should have sang like that, which is fucking great. Like, I think someone told me, I think going back to like what you're talking about, like NoiseROT with like the full hit like. Hispanic like group and like shit like that. Like when we were in Under Bloom, we didn't realize that until someone we played in Tyler, and then somebody said, and it's like, oh, that's crazy, like that you guys play like metal, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
what do you mean?
Yeah, by that? And it was genuine, like not even like, what do you mean? What are you trying to say? I was like, what? I was like, yeah, we like metal, like, cool, and we play metal, like, I mean, I don't understand. And he's like, oh yeah, but I mean, you guys are all like Mexican, and I was like. Oh, that's a thing. And I'm like, it never went through my fucking brain.
I have a good story about that too. From when I was in Unity. Yeah. We opened for Chief Keef, and so like me and Jay were up there, and like I was wearing like skinny jeans and a flannel, and like that was pretty much, and like a t-shirt, and that was like it. And Jay was wearing like sweatpants, like a shirt, whatever. But like we both had our nails painted, right? Yeah. And I remember one of our friends that was there after our set came up to us. I was like, yeah, these two bitches were talking shit about y'all while you were playing. They were like, yeah, like niggas aren't supposed to like look like that. Like niggas aren't supposed to be up there like with painted nails playing this type of music. And it's like, bro, what the fuck? Like, Jay raps half the fucking set. Like, what do you want? Like, you're mad about guitars?
Yeah. It's so stupid.
You're mad about guitars in your rap music? Is that what you're pissed about? Like, I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah, I've seen like Unity still get that hate, and it's so fucking weird.
It's so weird.
Do you understand what like that fucking energy is like? I don't understand like why that fucking matters. Like, it's so weird to see like prejudice in general is just like, to me, I'm like, you're fucking stupid. Like, I was like, I don't get it. I was like, how do you have time?
Why do you care what a specific person like happens to like or listen to? Like, how does that affect you? And also, like, why are you projecting your stuff? Yeah, like your hate like onto me.
It's a lot of like projecting and shit like that. People were like,
sorry you can't be cool like me.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, I don't know, it's so stupid. Like, you could open up to so much good fucking music if
you just like if you just like stop putting yourself in a box.
Yeah.
And, like, I get not liking stuff, but like I feel like there's so many people that don't like stuff because they feel like they can't like it. Like, I feel like they think it's weird to like it for some reason. So they just refuse to like it. Like, they don't even try to listen to it with the like option of liking it. Because I'll listen to anything, and like I'll make my decision after I listen to it. I don't base anything based off of any type of image that a band has, or like what their logo looks like what types of crowds they play to, or anything like that. Like Homewrecker and the Bedwetters. Our next show is with Homewrecker and the Bedwetters next weekend on the 4th. And like I didn't know very much about that band before we played Trans Pride Fest last year.
Yeah.
And so like the lineup got announced and I saw them on there, so I like went to check their like Instagram and everything. I was like, oh, I never heard of them, but they look like pretty cool, like whatever. I don't know. And I listened to their music and I was like, yeah, it's cool. Like I like it.
and they went up there.
They went up there. They started
some
playing
of the hardest metalcore shit I've heard.
They went up there and they started playing, and I was like, this shit's fucking awesome. I was like, Jesus Christ. They just put out their new EP on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And that shit's so sick. It's so fire. But I just remember because I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go check them out because like I had never heard of them before this.
Yeah.
And they were just so sick. And I'm so excited to play that show on this upcoming Saturday. On Saturday.
I want to talk about this band a little bit.
Yep.
So their first EP is like some really college rock, you know what I mean? Like college indie rock. It's fucking really good. Second EP is like really good, kind of like lo-fi punk, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and that's what like
that's what I thought they were gonna
that's
sound
what
like.
I was expecting.
And then we fucking play with them at the Trans Pride Fest, like River was saying. And they play like all their new stuff off their new EP, which is just like
heavy,
fucking
just
heavy.
fucking,
And I'm just like,
nuts.
y'all, they made that transition like seamless,
like absolutely awesome.
So that seems so fucking cool. Like, so the new project that I'm working on is actually only with DJ and with Ed. So it's supposed to be a 3.
Hell yeah.
And it literally it came about because we've always wanted to work together. Because like, and then they're like, Ed never really got the chance to write anything. He sent some stuff, and it just never got done. And I was always fucking mad because it was so good. And I'm like, you know what? I was like, we all meshed to fucking get like together. Like, let's start something. So we got a name, and I'm like, it all came because like we came up with a name for the band. And I'm like, this has to be something.
Wait, why don't you announce it?
I can't.
Oh,
man, it's great. I'll tell you. But anyways, like, I don't know. I love this name so much. But we're like, let's write something. But then we realized like we all like obviously like I asked like I was like, Ed, like what type of stuff would you be writing? Like if you could just write anything. Because I know like he plays like in a bunch of like hardcore bands, but he listens like his favorite like artist is like Rosie Tucker, which is like super like chill, you know what I mean?
I love Edward's like music taste.
His music taste is fantastic.
It's so awesome.
It's great. And like all of us are like that. And I'm like, you know what would be fucking sick? I was like, what if we just write enough music in certain genres, drop one EP, everything is fucking different. We can play with whoever the fuck comes up. I go, and then like with NoiseROT, I'm like, what if we have bands drop? We'll fucking fill in for our own like shows.
Yeah.
I'm like, and do that. But I'm like, the idea of like just writing whatever fucking genre you want to write and then play. And I was like, seems just like so fucking fun. But like that evolution of like, hey, today I feel like writing this type of shit. Let's fucking do that. It's so fucking cool. Like that feels so fucking like great, and just again, it comes back to like you should be having fun.
Exactly.
When you're playing
like
it.
Even with like the Ballista releases, like if you listen to it like in chronological order, like shit has changed so much since then. And even on the album, we have so many different kind of like types of heavy music on there. Like God's Image is like a
that's almost like a metalcore song.
That's like metalcore as fuck. But then we also have like. We have Path of Deicide is a straight up just like
death metal song.
And it's just like because we just want to write songs we want to play, and it's like I don't care if everything sounds different. And even the new EP like sounds different. Like everything like it's just it's just whatever we want it to sound like really at that moment. Like I do not care if it is like a big jump or anything from like any other project that we have like that we've released. But like I just want to write songs that are fun that we like to play. I don't care what it sounds like as long as I like it. Like that's all that matters.
Nah, but like going back to Edward, because like I've been in 2 bands. This is my 3rd band with Edward at this point, because I was in City South. I know.
You know what's coming. You know what's coming.
Nah, this is different.
No, Karama and Ballista are the exception to this man's rule.
Yeah.
Like I looked at it, I'm like, I'm glad you finally found your place, my man, because you've been taking out bands like crazy. Literally, one of the jokes is like, I was like, if I pay for it, will you get like so I got him drawn up as the Grim Reaper because I'm like, yeah, the Grim Reaper is bands. And I'm like, can you just get it tattooed and just like notches of every band?
That's kind of hard.
That would be kind of tough. That'd be tough.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, like whenever he joined Brook Alley, we were kind of on our way out a little bit. You know what I mean?
Same thing when he joined Under. You know what I mean? Same,
you know what
like,
I mean?
yeah.
But
It's funny. But it's funny.
in both bands though, I never really wrote with Edward. You know what I mean? And like when we started writing this new stuff, he's coming through with like some Cannibal Corpse riffs and
awesome.
shit like that. And I'm just like,
because like the second song, like that one, Edward like helped that one out a lot,
that's
right?
mostly
Edward. And that song, like I can't wait to start playing that song. I wanted to start playing it like in 2023, but then Jonathan had all his stuff going on, so we had to put like a halt on that kind of stuff. But like I can't wait to start playing that song live, and it's mostly Edward's writing.
Yeah,
it's so sick.
Dude's so fucking talented. Like
he's crazy,
and the sweetest fucking person.
So sweet.
You wanna know what's funny is that like we started calling him America's sweetheart forever,
and then he's dating America.
Like hey, like I'm dating. I was like, what's your name, America? I was like, are you? And in my head, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like,
America's
oh my god,
sweetheart, America's sweetheart.
I was like, holy shit! I got so excited. But he's like, like he's super sweet, super fucking talented. I've known him forever now, like around. And then like when he joined the band, like it took some convincing to get him to join.
Same with City South.
Yeah. And he's just fucking good. Like I mean, his band the original band was Via Versus. And Via Versus.
I didn't know he was in Via Versus.
Melancholia, like
what the hell? I didn't know Edward was in that.
One of my favorite fucking like local EPs of all fucking time.
What's that one song? Seventh Son of a Severed Son.
Hell, that
that song fucking
hard.
Dude.
It's a fucking banger. Like literally, like so they were going to come back, I think, and I toyed with the idea. I was like, hey, like. You don't have a vocalist anymore?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, dude, that would be fucking
I was like, you want me to fill
sweet.
it? And he's like, yeah, you can do it. And I'm like, oh, shit. All right, them fucking vocal parts are hard. Though. Like, they're great. But, no, like that, he's been, like, such a, like, just a good dude in general that I've had, like, in my life. And it's cool, like, that we're, like, best friends now. I'm like, oh, okay. Badass. And super creative. There's actually, did you see the picture that got uploaded, like, today? That someone took of like during the Ballista set,
dude.
That one where he's like pointing the guitar.
I'm gonna show you some
hard. Like I literally like I forgot who I asked, but I'm like, yeah, I need a print of that. Like, nah, I'm gonna hang that bitch up here. Like it's gonna be put up here.
River's already on it, bro.
Fuck it, yes.
That's the next shirt design, dude. She made that.
You know who fucking said like DJ? Literally today because I was like, I go, he's like, he put up that I need a print of that now. And I'm like, hey, I already got it. Like, I already asked the guy. I was like, we're getting a print for the fucking podcast studio. Like, I want it up there. And he's like, oh, now I need it on a shirt.
Yeah.
So yes, we are ordering them bitches when they come in.
Nah, that's the next one, dude.
Because I'm like, perfect. There, they got the little gleam off the little like.
Dude, off the fucking twin.
Yes, I saw that
crazy.
shit. I'm like, bro, how the fuck? That's like, I was like, that's fucking great.
Shout out to Marcus. Shout out to.
Shooting point, yeah, Marcus. That's his name. Yeah, I had this conversation, but I'm like, I know people by their Instagram names and don't know their real names sometimes. But Marcus, yeah, like caught like such a sick shot of Ed. Yes, like
I just showed OC that shit he came up with.
The design.
I'm buying it already. I was like, I don't know what this shirt's going on sale, but I messaged Marcus. And I'm like, I need a print of this. Like I go, I need this now. I go because I'm gonna hang this bitch up. Like it's gonna be in the background somewhere here at all times.
Ever seen in my life.
Again, thank y'all for coming out. This has been fucking fun as shit.
Hell yeah, it has, dude.
I was literally. First of all, y'all saved me. Like. It was nothing. I had nothing. Like something fell through in it. I mean, it was an unfortunate. It wasn't there. It's out of their control. But this was fun because I've been wanting to do this one for a while now, and honestly, this was like way more than I could have asked for. This was fun as shit. It's gonna be the longest one, but this is fucking. I think we had a great time, and I was like, I'm out. That's all I'm fucking focused on.
If anyone else falls through, hit us up, dude.
Yeah,
we'll come
back, repeat
it. We can talk about Kevin Dunlap.
We'll have a whole
Kevin Dunlap.
Whole Kevin / Cam.
Expose everyone, dude.
Expose everybody.
The expose episode.
Talking shit next time.
I'll make that a whole ass segment. Don't make me like Ballista talking shit.
Man.
Yeah.
Dude, we're the one band that would do it.
We're developing shows now. All right. But yeah, again, thank y'all for coming by. I really appreciate it. This has been episode 54 with Ballista. Yeah, go follow them. Go to a fucking show because it's incredible. You won't regret it. It's an experience. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. We will see you next time.
Sounds and breakdowns. Better lose your man. We should run away together while we still can.